Good evening, everybody. Mr. Forston, good evening to you.
We are
How are you
live. We are
doing?
live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Derek Forston, and we're super excited that you guys are here. Tonight's topic is we operate ILFs, but these are not group homes.
What you said?
One more time, Shay. We operate independent living facilities, and guess what, Shay? These are not group homes by any means, and discover the difference.
Wait. I want you to say that one more time. They are not what?
We are not group homes. And tonight, Shay, we're going to talk about the difference, right? And we're going to have some people come up. I get a lot of questions all the time in terms of what it looks like. So I'm starting tonight, with a picture. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And again, guys, if you're live with us in Clubhouse, go ahead and jump on YouTube, right? We're going to put the link up, but it's over at Forston Consultants over at YouTube, and we're going to be showing some slides tonight. So we want to be interactive. So we've been moving everything over kind of sort of to YouTube now. So my name is Derek Forston. I'm the owner, operator, and thought leader of Second Chance Housing. That's my personal independent living facility. And that's where we take people from homeless to hopeful. And guess what? Lucky for you, this doesn't require a license. You don't have to own the property. And it doesn't require for me to be a nurse or even a LPN, right? I don't have to be a CNA. I don't really need a medical background, right? One of the biggest requirements to do what we do in terms of housing the homeless and the displaced is a big heart for people and a love for God. And once you mix those two together, that's literally what this is, right? So we're no geniuses. God just simply showed us how to combine real estate and social services together. So we combine the love for helping people on top of real estate, which is we combine them together, right? And that's what seems to be fireworks now, because we seriously think that this is the best real estate strategy in 2024.
Absolutely.
And I almost dare anybody to argue with me. Again, because of the impact that we're making in the community, because of the population we're serving, and also unlike a traditional group home, we don't have to own the property. There's no zoning that's required in it. And again, I don't have to jump through a bunch of red tape to get into it. So again, thank y'all so much for being here. And again, we thrive off of questions. So if you guys have questions tonight, be free to type those into the chat. We're going to cover a lot of material tonight, but make sure that you type your questions into the chat, because I want to make it interactive, and I want to make sure that I'm delivering my my most two favorite goals of every time I go live. First goal, number one, is to give the game away, give a bunch of information on how we do what we do, because we don't hide it. And then number two, I want to give you an opportunity to be a part of what we're doing, either through our coaching, our handheld coaching, or even through joining us just, 3 days a week as we give this information out for free every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday here live on YouTube. So, Miss Shay, thank you so much for being here. Beautiful. Tell the people who you are, what you do, and what's the name of your program, Shay?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, for all of my people that are joining us on the live stream, please put in the chat if you can hear us loud and clear. We are simulcasting as always, and we just want to make sure that audio quality is good for the listening viewers that are joining us here from Forston Consultants YouTube. Go ahead and put that in the chat. Good evening, Miss Angela. How are you?
Good evening.
Is everything clear? Do I sound like I'm using my big mic?
Cheryl says loud and clear. Good stuff.
Listen.
Good to see you too, Miss Cheryl. Good to see you. Good to see you,
Angela.
Angela.
Good to see you all.
Also, go ahead and put what city and state that you guys are from. We always make this a networking opportunity. I'm always overjoyed when I find out people are connecting in these rooms together, simply because maybe you just put in the chat where you're from.
Yes.
So again, just put in the chat your city and state, and we'll just keep it rolling. Miss Shay.
All right, awesome. So I am Shanye Shay Forston. Everybody knows me by the nickname Shay. It's easier to say, but I am the president and founder of the Angela Denise Foundation, which is a local 501c3 organization that utilizes the ILF model to house women that have been through domestic violence, human and sex trafficking, and also just women that have been struggling to navigate out of homelessness. So that's a little bit about me. Our Angela Denise Foundation does do a number of other things in the community as we are continuing to grow and scale. We've adopted families for the Christmas holiday, and we are looking to do some more amazing things in 2024. If you are interested in partnering with the Angela Denise Foundation, you can go right on over to our website at angeladenisefoundation.org. unravel.org. That is where you can see how you can partner, what we have coming up. Also, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and that is Angela Denise Foundation, the one and only. You will see my beautiful mom as the logo, and that's how you know you have connected with the right organization. I am excited as co-founder here at Forston Consultants. We get to share what we do and how we do it to all of our listening viewers and audience on every platform of how you can change the stigma of homelessness in your community and really give people an opportunity to live in a safe, clean, loving environment that helps benefit their lives and their livelihood and also your community. Listen, you don't understand how many people we communicate and connect with in our local governments and are just community advocates that enjoy what we do, and they find a great way to connect with us and utilize the housing options that we have to help facilitate change in our community. So I'm excited about tonight's conversation. I'm going to make sure all of our moderators, Derek, have the link, and that they're ready and willing to join. But I'm excited about the conversation, and let's get to it.
Let's have Alex introduce himself. So just in case if you guys are wondering who's this handsome guy down at the bottom, that's one of our assistants, right? That really helped me and Shay with the day-to-day of everything that we do. So Alex, go ahead and tell the people who you are, how great you are, and what you do, Alex. Alex, you're muted.
Oh, yep, I surely did mute
You're
Alex.
muted.
My bad.
Stay muted, my guy.
Hi. Can you hear me now?
Yep, loud and clear, Alex. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Hello, everybody. My name is Alex Chukwu. I'm a virtual assistant to Forston Consultant, and we operate digital flow solutions where we prefer digital services to businesses of all sizes. You know, in this digital age, we believe that if your business doesn't have a web presence, it will soon be out of business. So we take it upon ourselves to provide these solutions, to provide these services to businesses of all sizes, optimizable websites, and not just websites, CRM systems that help you to stay ahead and to make the most of whatever niche that you are in. So that is the services I help to provide for Forston Consultants. And also, I am also the live session assistant to Mr. Derek and Michelle. So feel free to put any question in the chat. I'm always here to attend to you and to answer you as quick as I see it. So yeah, that's it. I'm here to enjoy the room and also to be a great part of it. Thank you.
Good stuff. Good
Thanks,
stuff. Thank you so
Alex.
much, Alex. I appreciate that. So simply what that means, guys, is I can't talk and text at the same time. So when you guys have questions or I'm offering something or you want to know something, Alex is going to be the one that's going to be answering that. So out of all of the businesses that Shay and I run, Alex is probably a part of 3 of those, but he's a major part of Digital Flow Solutions. So when you guys get a chance later on, check out digitalflowsolutions.net. Alex even built the website. So we have a whole digital marketing company. So even when you get your housing program, your ILF, right? Again, your ILF, your housing program, not your group home, Alex and our team can actually build your website, your logo, and all of that stuff for you. So again, as you also heard him say, he's our assistant when we're live doing anything. So again, last week's room was titled, If You Don't Have a Virtual Assistant in 2024, You're Losing. That's what I'm talking about. So you will see how we're able to do things. Even this PowerPoint, guys, I can't do stuff like that. I'm not very techie, right? So I can take the picture of that house, but when it comes to somebody actually putting it on a PowerPoint and uploading it to this system, that's not me. They just sit me in the chair, guys, and I just take off running, right?
Big mouth.
So let's talk about it. So again, tonight's topic is we operate ILFs, but these are not group homes. So if you're just joining us, thank you so much for being here. Go ahead and put in the chat where you're located in terms of where you're going to put your ILF. Even if you're still thinking about it, go ahead and just put it in the chat so that we can network together. But right away, one of the big major differences from an ILF versus a traditional group home, Shay, you know this, it doesn't require a license. So as I was begging people to show this model and this concept to me, one of the things that lit a fire under me was really 2 things, right? But one was that I didn't need a license. And number 2, I didn't have to own this house. So this huge house that you guys see on this screen, that's what I call my little mini mansion. So again, if you're new to us and you've never seen this house, great. But this is one of my ILFs. And guys, I do not own this place. This is the 5-bed, 3-bath home, but it really sits as a 6-bed, 3.5. Because again, there's another room that's so large downstairs that we don't use for nothing. So we turned that into a bedroom, actually, right? It's got a closet in it and everything. And there's a bathroom right across from it, like 7 feet. So it's very convenient. So you guys are looking at a 6-bedroom, 3.5 bed, excuse me, bathroom that I don't own. And that was one of the major keys, right? Now, as far as I know, if you're running group homes, you got to own that place. Now, if somebody's running a group home and I don't know that, you tell me. But from my understanding, with the traditional group home, you need to have certain zoning is required, certain licensures are required, right? Maybe even certain schooling and different things that you got to have behind your last name, right? ILFs are very different from that. I'm gonna also tap over to Shay because my wife does the same thing that I do, right? But Shay does it from a nonprofit standpoint. Shay, what did you think of when I came home that day and told you for weeks and weeks and weeks that I wanted to do this, but the day that I told you that it didn't require a license? What did you think of that?
I thought you were crazy.
just flat out, right?
I'm just going to be honest. It's something that you don't know or you don't hear of regularly. You know, you hear of other housing models, and you really don't. You hear the stigma that's behind them as well, right, Derek? So you think of, oh my goodness, are we going to be one of these people that's considered running one of these things? But when we got involved, and when I got involved, to be able to see what's going on and how you can really cultivate and nurture a homey house, the community, relationships, friendships, family by this housing model, it really blew my mind to see how it worked in its totality. So again, initially I thought Derek was losing his mind and just had a idea that he wanted to pursue, and I was for it. Don't get me wrong, I was 100% for it. I was with it, but I didn't really understand the magnitude of what it did and how it really affected and helped people transition from homelessness. So yeah, that was my thoughts, Derek.
Yeah, because Shay, I'll never forget at the beginning. And if you guys never seen our original webinar, definitely check that out. Alex will put it in the chat. Alex, if you can put the link for the webinar in the chat, the HRA as well as the ILF. But again, guys, like it blew my mind when the lady and a lot of people that I begged to show me what this was and to teach me. Because if you don't know my story, guys, I used to be the social worker that was referring these people out until one day God turned that light bulb on, right? But one of the major keys for me was when I found out that I didn't need a license. Most of y'all that are in this room are probably just like me. You thought to have your own housing program or what you thought was a group home, you thought you needed a license. Put a thumbs up or type in the word yes if you thought at one point in your life to house people like we do that you needed a license, right? So I'm going to actually add that same thing. I'm going to put yes, because I also thought the same thing, but I'll never forget the day when this certain young lady, she told me, Derek, I don't own these places. And Derek, I definitely don't have a license. You know how much you got to do to get a license to run a group home? And that's literally how she said it. But guys, if you know the story, again, she never taught it to me. She wouldn't teach it to me. So we went through all the bumps and the bruises to learn how to do it. But one of the second things that kind of, again, that makes this different from a group home, there's a lot of red tape usually that you got to jump across to get into a group home. Many of you have heard of ACA, right? And I'll probably mess the acronym up if I try to say it, but I think it's called Agency. Somebody help me, actually. If you know what ACA mean, put that in the chat.
Yeah, I keep forgetting it.
If I try hard enough, I'll remember it. But most kind of group homes or licensed group homes or APD homes, you got to go through ACA and DCF and your government entities in your city. The ILF model, guys, is very different. I didn't have to ask anybody to get into this. Now, because I didn't know it in the beginning, Bianca, I asked everybody in the city, which was also one of my biggest mistakes. When you try to talk this game to the wrong people and you're using the wrong verbiage, you can actually make yourself look like a fool, right? And guys, I did that. In the beginning, I didn't know the lingo. I didn't know the language. I didn't know really who to even to talk to kind of make this happen. I just called everybody that I thought could help me figure out how to open a group home. So I called DCF. I called my downtown agency. I called the courthouse. And every time I got on the phone, Angela, guess what they did? They was like, well, Let's transfer you because let's see if somebody else can help you. And it just kept transferring me and transferring me and transferring me until one guy finally answered the phone. He was like, sir, let me get this right. You want to house people, right? I said, yes, sir. But you don't want a license. I said, no, sir. You don't want to feed people. I said, no, sir. You don't want to drive people around. I said, no, sir. And you don't want to give out medications. I said, no, sir. I said, sir, you the first guy all day that seems to get what I'm trying to do. I said, I want to house people that don't need my help in terms of taking their meds, taking a bath. I want to house the everyday guy. Maybe he's got a mental health problem, but he's taking medication and he's medication compliant. So I'm housing a guy that only need a roof over his head, not for me to drive him to the doctor's office. So in the beginning, dummy me, I was driving people around. I was trying to cook food. I was taking them to Walmart. I was driving to the CVS and Publix and Kroger and all of these places to pick up medications. I'm driving the outpatient. I'm driving the inpatient. Guys, the difference with a group home is that you got to provide transportation. A doctor and a nurse has to be involved. People have to have a license. We got this thing down to a science so bad now that and so good now that you can literally actually kind of sort of provide services that would require a license. But what if you bring the people in that are already licensed to provide the service?
Yeah.
We get calls all the time. Mr. Derrick, I know that you guys only house individuals and they must be independent. But what if we provide the services? I have Mr. Johnny here that we're going to come and bathe him 5 days a week. I'm going to come and change his bandages 5 days a week. I'm going to come and give him his medications 7 days a week. Guys, I've accepted clients like that. We work with the FACT team, FACT, the FACT team. We work with them, guys, and that's an intensive outpatient case management that they follow their clients. So again, that's the difference in between, again, the group home and the ILF setting. And if you're new to us, ILF just simply means independent living facility, where we're able to house homeless adults or displaced adults that have guaranteed income. That's the catch now. But they don't need me to give medications. I don't have to drive them around, and I don't have to cook their food. Now, I jokingly say that, but watch this. Those are the very main things that you normally would need a license for. If you guys open up a group home, guess why you need a license? Because the people you're housing, they can't take their own meds. Mm-hmm. They can't go to the bathroom by themselves. They can't cook their own food. Guys, as great as I think I can fry a piece of chicken, I'm not trying to cook for these folks, guys. They cook their own bologna sandwich. They make their own chicken noodle soup in the microwave from the ramen noodles. Yeah. They cook their own frozen dinner. And most of my clients, I'll admit, they think they're chefs. Most of my ILFs have barbecue grills. Now, here's a little pig trail, but when my clients do real well and they ain't bothering me, following all the rules and they ain't killing each other, guess what I do? I Walmart.com to them chicken leg quarters, sausages, hamburgers, tell them to have a cookout and take pictures and send it to me. That's the way that I reward my guys. Now, that was a little pig trail, but back to the story. Most of my clients, 99.9% of them don't need me to do nothing. And that 1%, he can do it. He just lazy. So somebody that's in the house probably cooking his bologna sandwich for him, right? But everybody that we want you guys housing, we want them to be absolutely independent, which is the exact opposite of somebody that's in a group home. And the other thing that I keep screaming is that you don't have to own the property. When I was told I didn't have to own the property, guys, again, for me, game over. You mean to tell me I can get into this housing thing that Shay just told me about? I don't need a license. I don't have to own the property. So what's stopping me? Can two people type in what's stopping me?
What is?
Because most of y'all thought that you had to have a license. You got to own the property, and it's going to take you 3 years to open it. Just two people just type in the phrase, what's stopping me? Because if you just told me that, because that's how I'm made up. That's my makeup. That's my personality. You mean to tell me I can house the homeless and the displaced? They get a guaranteed income, Derrick. And I don't have to try to pretend to be a nurse and give out meds. I don't have to bathe people. I don't got to take and drive people to Walmart and to the pharmacy. Man, this is a no-brainer. Right? So in my mind, that's why we always talk about this is a no-brainer. I'm going to let Shay jump in one more time. We're going to bring up also Neonta. I think she's here already.
Yeah. So
And then I'll jump back into it.
absolutely. I want to go back on something you said, right? You initially said about how you called all of the agencies and all of that stuff that was going on, right? And trying to figure this thing out and what you can do or if how to do it and all of that good stuff, right? But I had to share something with everybody. What I wanted to share is the fact of the matter that I did the same thing. My husband was training me in this model, and I still, because I was like, well, I'm a nonprofit. I just want to make sure that I'm doing it the right way. And, and I did the same thing. I made phone calls. I went through the same pig trails. And it got to the point where DCF actually put me in contact with my mentor. Yes, DCF introduced me,
To
Department of
your current
Children, and
mentor.
to my current mentor. One of the
Shout him
higher
out.
level one of the higher level executives in DCF actually got my phone call because I was using every tactic I had to reach somebody. And when I got in contact with this gentleman, he literally told me the same thing. He was like, listen, I'm going to put you in contact with someone that we work very closely with that does the same thing. And he does it from a nonprofit standpoint. And again, no license needed, no requirements needed. You're just providing housing. And I looked at Derek, and Derek was like, didn't I tell you so? I told you so. Yep. But the greatest thing for me was it put me in connection with my mentor. So I just wanted to share that. Like, Derek is my mentor, but I also have other mentors as well. I have a mentor for the nonprofit space. I have a mentor that's he's
Because Shay does want to house women and children like a
right.
lot of you all do.
And
That's what
he
he's
does.
mentoring her.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just wanted to share that little piece of advice because even though I was being coached by my husband, who was doing this already and doing it very well, I still wanted more. I just had to try it and see. And it was a waste of 3 days. I'm going to be honest, because I wasted 3 days playing a game of phone tag with people that really still didn't have anything to say but what Derek already told me they were going to say, other than the relationship that was cultivated and that is cultivated and nurtured because of a connection that was made based on this individual at DCF that gave me that contact information. So that's what I wanted to share, Derek. That's really what I wanted to share.
Good stuff. I love it. I'm gonna jump onto the topic of another reason why we operate ILFs versus a group home, and the biggest difference in is that group homes usually have a stigma attached to it, right? So the word group home usually grosses most people out. If you're a family member that has ever had a family member live in a group home or some kind of other shared environment, most times there's a stigma attached to it that's not very positive. So again, we prefer to call ours either A, a housing program, B, independent living facility, or C, shared housing. So no matter how you phrase that, the ultimate thing is that we're housing the homeless or the displaced, but they have a guaranteed income. Yeah. As much as it breaks my heart when we do get phone calls for people that need housing, but they don't have the income, that breaks my heart. But we right now today are not built to do that. Now, if you know me and you've been around us long enough, my ultimate goal is to have a huge building one day to where I am housing people for absolutely free. That's the goal, right? And then we're going to build case management into it. We'll build social work into it. We'll build the rapid rehousing into it, Dornico. He talked a lot about that just here on Saturday. Yeah. So that's my ultimate goal. But guess where those people will graduate eventually to? The ILF model. Right. Because if I take a big building, right, a big commercial building, which we do that as well, right? If you guys want to buy property, we lend anywhere from 50 grand to $50 million. Let us know. But when I buy that big commercial building, I'm going to house people for free, just like the shelter does. But I'm going to tie case management into it so that while they're there, they're working on getting their SSI, their SSDI, or to help them apply to get a job. Because when people hear us talk about we collect guaranteed income, guess what that really means? The clients that we serve, Davidzo, they receive SSI or SSDI. That's a guaranteed stipend that they receive every month. Nothing stops it.
Without fail.
When the pandemic came, Shane, did it stop it?
Not even. It actually increased in volume because
Shane, when the monkeypox came around, did it stop it?
Nope. We got, again, we received other avenues to obtain the rental income. Remember, we had to minimize during COVID, you had to minimize the number of people that were in facilities, right? They were under strict rules and guidelines, government wide. So what happened? They ran out of housing space. So who did they need? They needed the ILF, the group home owners. They needed all of us to pitch in regards to finding places for these individuals to stay. So not only did they need that, they also had different stipends of money that was allocated to providing these housing opportunities within these housing spaces. So it was a very interesting time, don't get me wrong, because we had to also incorporate some of those key factors and things that needed to be in place, like COVID plans. What happens if a resident in your home had COVID? Everybody that was underneath the ILF model with Forston Consultants was educated every month as we made changes, as we made transitions through that process. And we were able to give that information to other organizations that we were working with to let them know that, hey, we've got protocol in place, we've got cleaning protocol in place, we've got supplies in place for this specific situation, to help us navigate and show you that we were providing the safest care possible for our residents. So that was exciting to me. Hate that it went through a pandemic, but it forced us to really build out the ILF model the way it needs to be, and as a truly substantial model for housing those that are homeless or on the verge of homelessness. So yeah, that's what we did.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. And guys, again, if you guys have any questions or concerns about anything that you've heard today, make sure that you type your comments or questions in the chat, and we're going to get to those, right? We're here for about 90 minutes, usually
Yes.
every Monday and every Tuesday at 6 p.m. So we are here to answer all of your questions. And then just by chance, if you want our one-on-one coaching, that's our ILF Mastery Blueprint. So we got commercials for all of that stuff here a little later.
Derek
But
got
again, our
fancy.
ILF Mastery Blueprint is what most people come to us for. And luckily for you all, there's still some of that scholarship money left. So instead of that $15,000 package that it usually is, that goes as low as now as $7,500. We also have financing, third-party financing, and we also have in-house financing if you don't qualify for the third-party financing. But back to the show, right? So again, we talked about that stigma, and we also talked about not owning the property and not needing a license. But my other quick thing, or the other thing that I really like about the ILF model, and this is why case managers like us, you want to write this down, right? On this side of it, the reason why case managers and social workers like us here at Second Chance Housing is because when they call me for placement for Johnny, I only need about 15 to 30 minutes to make a decision. In a regular group home setting, that can take days or months for somebody to get placed. Most of y'all know Francesca Dawson, who's a part of what we do, right? Yeah. Francesca's got ILFs, she's got licensed group homes, and she's got APD group homes. That stands for Agency for Persons with Disabilities. Everything that Francesca can house with that group of people, we cannot. Right. Those people are not independent. They need to be fed. They need to be driven to the store. They need to be bathed. So you got to have a license to do that. You just can't say, well, I'm going to open up an APD home tomorrow. First of all, it took Francesca 3 years to get the doors open to that, versus maybe 3 months to get her first ILF full of people.
Yeah.
So you see the difference in that again? Remember earlier when I talked about the red tape, having to jump across the red tape and hula hoop cross people? 3 months to get an ILF that you don't own the property, but now you got a house full of people paying you guaranteed rent, and you took all of them from homeless to hopeful. Without those people, without you doing that, those people would have been homeless. Yeah. But the group home setting, again, is just, it's just not like that, guys. So again, I love to ask people, like, what would stop you from doing this? And I would love if there's somebody here that's, say, per se, maybe not a skeptic, maybe, but you just got questions. Of Derek, you mean to tell me I can start? You telling me literally by next Monday I can go out and rent a house? Yes. You can build relationships with social workers and case managers and social service providers to tell them that you're a housing solution. Yes. And they call you every day for placement as long as the clients are independent. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why I always say it, like, what's stopping you? Why wouldn't you want to do this? Because again, I put it in the chat, right? This gives you a way to please God, help people, be respected by your community at the same time while you're doing it, but then also you're making enough money to feed your family. And then my biggest hope is that you can quit your job. So I love it when people quit their jobs to do this, right? I had a goal in the beginning that I wanted to see. I think it was like 5 to 8 people quit their jobs. That happened really fast, actually. Francesca is one of those people.
Yes.
Francesca, not even 2 years later, retired her husband. So no different from me pulling shade from corporate America. That's what Francesca did.
And
Francesca's actually perfect for tonight's conversation. Where is she?
I sent her a link. I sent her. I know she's doing rounds at
Yeah,
this time.
she'd be perfect for tonight, Shay.
She's actually working today in her facility. I spoke to her earlier, so yes, she's working tonight. And let me tell you something, Derek. You said something earlier as we were talking about other people that can't house, or excuse me, no, let me take that back. You were saying that people that needed to transition from one housing type to another, and that was going from, let's say, a skilled facility into a step down, or a housing option that would allow them to be independent. This is the conversation I had with Francesca yesterday. She was telling me about a previous ILF Mastery Blueprint member that transitioned and did the ILF Mastery Blueprint for over 3 years strong, had 10 plus houses. Their background was in rehabilitation, in drug rehab. So what this individual did is she transitioned because of her partnerships and because of the education she had as a nurse to go into the recovery housing. So now think about this, guys. She had to go through the same hoops and everything to get those houses up and running and operational. But once she did, all of her ILF clientele had to be transitioned because they did not fit the ILF model. So now reverse engineering this. She did this for easily, she had what she did for 3 years with 10 plus houses. Now look at what's happening. She's a part of her, now she has a recovery home. The recovery home rules and guidelines stipulate the time frame they're allowed to be there, what they have to do to be there. And now when they're done in her recovery housing program, guess who she's calling to transition those individuals out into the community to live independently? Fellow ILF members. So she literally went from ILF to recovery, and now she's still able to utilize the partnerships, the relationships that she developed within the ILF Mastery Blueprint family to now, go and HRA pretty much into our ILFs once they have met the criteria or completed the course for their recovery process. How great is that? Like, how powerful is that you've nurtured relationships by one starting an ILF to get your foot in the door. You get 10 ILFs to give you some stability as you've transitioned out of corporate America or out of your nursing role, to kind of get your foot in the door to start developing and creating the framework for your recovery homes. You now have the recovery homes all operational, all doing well, and now you can actually refer those individuals once they graduate your program back to the ILF model where they can really be successful on their own. I mean, Derek, how great is that?
I'm telling you, it's a no-brainer.
Use something that was not licensed to receive a licensed facility and still circles back to the not licensed. I don't know if they heard me.
Options. Sounds like me. You just gave options.
I don't think they heard me, Derek.
So again, if you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about how to take people from homeless to hopeful. We do that in what we call the shared living environment. So that picture that you see on your screen right there, this is what a typical room looks like, right? And again, the greatest part about even what's versus me doing just a regular rental, because guys, I also just rent to just regular, what I call families. So a mom, dad, and 3 kids. I also do Section 8. But when I do independent living facilities, first of all, I don't even own the property. So let me just be real and transparent, because see, some coaches, a lot of y'all, I do own property, but it's the ones where I'm housing families. I do not own a property right now that is an independent living facility, and I have over 10 of those. Right now, I am under contract to buy another one, But this will be my first ILF that we actually own. But this room right here, even in this mansion, I got 2 of these, right? Guys, I don't own this place. All of that furniture came from a hotel that saw what we're doing, and I was asking for donations. The sheets, the pillow, and the comforter, and the towel, and the washcloth, that came from Walmart. We bought that stuff absolutely brand new. But that headboard, those twin beds, that lamp, and that dresser,
the end table,
guys, that came from a hotel, a very nice, actually, resort. Let me not disrespect them, right? That's not a hotel. It came from a resort. So again, our social media is also telling people what we're doing each and every day. So sometimes we don't have to buy stuff like this. So every time I want to open a new ILF, I don't have to run to the store or the thrift store to buy this stuff,
right?
Because we advertise it so much. So again, if you have a heart to house people or to help people, and you also like real estate, this is a no-brainer, because this allows you to combine social services, meaning I want to help people, and it also combines real estate. Put a number 7 in the chat if you're kind of like me, right? You like helping people, but boy, you sure want to get into real estate too. God is just genius how he gave it to us, but God already mixed them together. So put a number 7 in the chat if you think it's genius that we're allowed to combine social services and real estate together to do God's will. Because I always tell people, I'm no pastor, I'm no priest, and I'm no bishop, but we love God and we love people, and we love real estate. In fact, Alex, watch this, y'all. I've been saying this saying for a long time, but watch how this dream can come to reality when you have a virtual assistant. Alex, by next week, Monday, I want to show these same people how I took an idea to concept. So I want to build another PowerPoint, and I want to show them how I want to turn this saying that I've been saying over and over and over and put it on a t-shirt, put it on a hoodie and a hat and some leggings and a pocketbook. And we're going to show them how they can do that for free. I'm going to show you guys Tuesday how you can build your own apparel store on Tuesday, utilizing these virtual assistants. So, Alex, I want a t-shirt made that says, "We love God, love people, and love real estate." Put the emojis of the house when you say real estate, and I want that to go on a hoodie, a hat, some leggings, whatever that we can use Teespring for. Because I told these same nice people last Tuesday that Teespring, y'all can build your own apparel store using these VAs. And Alex, also, just to give them a look of what the apparel store looks like when you're done, put me and Shay's apparel store in the chat so people can actually see it. But again, if you're in this room, you probably love people, you love God, and you love real estate, and you're in the right place. Hey, what's going on, family? Just to let you know really quick, everything that you're listening to right now, I actually have it in a more structured way in a webinar. So when you guys get done here, go to forsterconsultants.com, click the tab that says webinars, and there's 2 webinars there. One is for you to be the actual ILF operator, meaning that you want to do it. And then the other one is the HRA. That stands for Housing Referral Agency, where you're able to take people from homeless to hopeful, and you actually don't need the real estate. It stands for a Housing Referral Agency, and we call it a business in a box. But definitely go to forsterconsultants.com, watch both of those webinars, then set up a free strategy call with me and my team, and let's see how we can get you started. Back to the show. So, how did y'all like my commercial? I just kind of threw it in there, right?
Alex, he was over here as soon as we finished our last.
Are you impressed, Alex? If Alex is impressed, I'm happy. He's the digital flow guy, right? But nevertheless, just like I said, guys, everything that you hear us talk about tonight is actually in a webinar in a more structured way. So definitely visit forsterconsultants.com. Alex will put it in the chat, and definitely watch it with your family. I love the lady that took this to her church. So there's one lady here recently, she took it to her whole church, and her whole church watched it. So we're turning this over. We've been telling you guys for the last few months to now the churches and church leadership. So if your pastor or your priest or your bishop don't know about this, you need to share it. Okay. So Shay, back on you. And Shay, let's take a few questions if we have any.
Absolutely. I don't see any questions yet, but I know there's some coming in from Clubhouse. So we'll get to those in a second. Let's go ahead and have Nianta introduce herself to the people and tell them a little bit about her housing program and where she's located. Nianta, are you there?
And we'll ask them some of the same questions that the title is. Dornico, are you there, big bro? And if you guys are speaking, we can't hear it. So I
At
just want to
all.
make sure
Yeah.
that our stuff is set up right too. So if you guys are speaking, we can't hear it.
I can see Dornico's hand, but we can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Darnico.
Maybe go out and come back in. I don't know if it's something up with the system, but go out and come back in. Same for you, Neonta. If you're unable to speak, just go out and come back in. And Derek, I do have a question.
Sure, let's do it.
What are some of the hurdles you've had to jump through when starting this ILF business?
Oh, wow. I can go from several different angles there. One of the first hurdles was that people didn't believe me. People thought I was crazy.
Like
When I
your
said
wife.
that I wanted to start a housing program without a license, people thought I was crazy, right? But I'm just crazy enough to not to listen to people. I'm not real big on like listening to outside chatter. So I don't need a lot of people telling me, well, Derek, don't listen to other people and you can do it. And I'm just kind of built like that anyway. And plus, I also felt that it came from God, Shay. So
Yeah.
one of the things but I'll still be honest though, hearing people doubt me and saying that this couldn't happen, I'll even turn your question and say that that actually motivated me, Shay. Right. So I think you asked what was a stumbling block or something that was hard, but I'll just even use that as kind of motivation. And the other thing, Shay, was just simply not knowing what this was in terms of how to operate it. You got to understand, Shay, as the social worker, I saw this from the other side of the fence, right?
Right.
I didn't know how to house the people. I just took phone calls and clients came to my hospital every day, and I just called people and said, "Hey, Shay, got this nice guy named Brad being discharged tomorrow. Do you want him?" Like I didn't know the other side of doing the assessment, getting the right client, running the housing program. So for me, Shay, the lack of knowledge in the beginning, and that's why again, we went through the bumps and the bruises and the lawsuits to get it to how we have it right now, which is what I call almost perfect.
Yeah.
But we work on it every day to get it better and better. So I'll remain at a 97% for a long time because nothing's perfect.
Right.
But I'm always achieving and striving for 100. But I'm going to always average around 97 to 98% in terms of how to the T that we've got it now. Because again, Shay, I hate to say it, Shay, it's not rocket science. All we're doing is renting a house, but we're also building relationships with social workers and case managers.
Yeah.
And that's me simply calling and saying, "Hey guys, my name is Derek Forston, but I have a program by the name of Second Chance Housing. And we take people from homeless to hopeful. And I would love to work with you and your team so that we can end homelessness together. Let me know when's the best time that I can come by your office. Oh, and by the way, we always bring coffee and donuts."
Yeah. We'll
I'm a no-brainer, Shay.
Shay,
When I show up with them coffee and donuts, Shay, I become a what?
a no-brainer.
A no-brainer.
And we'll get you snacking. But I do want to
Okay.
mention this because you said that it's not rocket science, right? And it's not rocket science, but it is strategic. Everything about it is strategic. From how you implement the business, from how you interact with the different populations of people that you will be working with, i.e., the case manager, the social worker, the resident's family, your counterparts in the community. So, although it's not rocket science, you need to know how to have the appropriate conversations and know how to direct those conversations to the right people. I think that's one of the things that I had to learn. In a corporate setting, I know how to facilitate meetings and coordinate different things in regards to the case managers, social workers, and that population. But when it came time to the residents, right, that was a little bit of a different process that I had to learn and navigate. And that's what I utilized my coach for. You heard that? Hey, coach.
Hey.
So, but again, just making sure that I knew how to navigate that part with my coach from my coach's perspective. And that's what made it easy. That's what made it easier.
And I'm going to piggyback right before Nico hops on. Shay mentioned something about language. I just want to reiterate that. Guys, what that simply means is this, and that's why coaching is so important. Make sure you're getting the coaching from the right people, right? Because the conversations between the social worker and case manager, those can sound just alike. But that same conversation cannot go to the guy you're trying to rent the house from, guys.
That part too, I forgot about
That's
that.
very important
100%.
coaching. And usually I'll admit we only kind of got into this part if you took the coaching. But I care about y'all so much. I don't want people to make mistakes. The conversation that I can talk to about the social worker and the case manager, and I can mention words like homelessness. I can mention words like substance abuse. I can
Yeah.
mention words like, when was the
Mental
last time you
health.
used drugs and alcohol? I can mention words like displaced, disheveled. I can mention words like homelessness and being brought back to hopeful. But the
Mhm.
gentleman or the lady that I'm trying to rent the property from, that's an absolute no-no. We do not do that because, again, the lingo and the language, and especially who you, Shay also said, be careful who you're talking to. Shay, one of the biggest mistakes that I made was I gave my whole heart and my dreams and my thought process to the wrong people in the beginning.
Yeah, and they shut it down. Like they tried to shut you down.
Not counting Shay, the people that just doubted it, but even when I thought I was going to talk to the right person down at my government agency,
Yeah.
the guy downtown over housing, he wasn't supposed to get that story.
No.
And guys, guess what I end up doing? You end up scaring those people versus showing that you're the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
So learning the language and the lingo, and Dornico's got the coaching, Neonta's got the coaching, blah, 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 blah. And they've gone through it, so they know it, right? So when we bring Dornico up and he starts talking to you guys, he's not just talking from his left pocket. He's been through the coaching, but he's also in it now. And we often tell people, I'm one of the greatest coaches that'll ever teach this to you. But guess who's probably the better coach even than me? It's going to be the clients that you're serving are going to teach you a little bit more than me. The clients are going to teach you the game of this. Derek going to teach you how to stay out of trouble, keep money in your pocket and out of the courtroom, and continue to serve people to help your community to be respected. But if you don't get the right coaching, and if you're doing this the wrong way, you can look like you're actually mistreating people. I would like to kind of think that lady that I tell y'all the story about, I would like to think that it's just a lack of education. But when you housing people in rats and roaches, like, man, like, how can you get around that? So again, without further ado, I want to bring up Dornico from Dayton, Ohio. Dornico, if you're here, tell the people who you are, the name of your program, and I want you to answer the question, D, from your perspective now that you're in it. What's the difference between an ILF and a group home, and why did you choose the ILF?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Oh, okay. So my voice is not what it's supposed to be. I'm not feeling well at all, but I've been looking forward to this conversation. As always, for some reason, I feel amazing when I'm with you guys. I
Oh
can't
man, good
explain
stuff.
it, but yeah. So the difference for me is red tape. I don't like red tape, but I do understand both sides. The beauty of understanding both sides is when you're wearing that HRA hat, there's no limits to your game. You can flip or flop. You can do solely other operators in the ILF, or you can go ALF as far as who you're referring to, based on knowing that side as well. I think expectations need to be taught on both sides. Like I remember getting suited and booted. Every little girl I tried to court, I had to get them nice Stacy's on and polish them real good, comb my hair, you know what I'm saying, and ring that doorbell with the fear of God in my heart, right? And
Absolutely.
ask, sir, I want to take your daughter out. That is the expectations that we have in everything else. So you simply teach your expectations as far as your policies and procedures and how you want to do things in the culture you're trying to create. I'm sick, but I got my butt up and I had to say goodbye to someone today because homie don't play that. I can't let people amen. It's one of those things. You gotta understand when you need to say goodbye. And if it's early and everything is going haywire, that's a blessing. Get rid of that guy as soon as you can. So I did it gracefully, lovingly. His sister's coming to get him. He's going to Tennessee. The thing I'm saying is, if I discovered that they need wraparound care, building relationships with these other people, I might be able to say, okay, I got a guy. I don't think he's a fit with me. He's probably better suited over there. How you gonna do
Right.
that? You don't have that relationship, or if you gotta make these friends. You need them. I wish I can say I'm a bad boy. I can do all of this by myself. Nope. My success is simply coming from all of these people I don't mind talking to. We have hour-long conversations, and the coffee and donut game has solidified it, nailed it down. I ain't gonna say I don't mention that no more. I ain't gonna say nothing else, Derek. I'm either you bring it up or y'all. I'm just not gonna say it because once you do that and you do it well, don't be ghetto. You know, get it all nice and neat and very clean and put together, COVID type tape and all of that stuff. They appreciate the extra mile that you took. That's what they're gonna do. They're
Yep.
gonna take the extra mile for
Yep.
you. They're gonna remember you too because nobody do that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's so good.
It may cost you $5 to $10 more. So what? Is five
So
to
what?
ten dollars worth getting that great relationship and getting your name at that table? Your pens is the one they love to write with. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it. Like I look at that and I say, okay, how did I? So I look at what I've done and I say, okay, Lord, how we gonna kick this up? These relationships don't stop. You have to cultivate till that field. It's gonna get cold and brittle sometimes. What you gonna do? Okay, get out there and work. You gonna get sick. It didn't take me long. I got my butt up, put the mask on, you know what I'm saying? Sterilized myself, went in there, took care of
Yep.
business. The relationships allow it to be an easy, no drama situation. He wasn't upset, he wasn't mad or angry. You know, he made some bad choices early on, blew his money. Hey man, we're not a shelter. That means free. I never said shelter in anything I put out, so you have to set the record straight because everybody else is watching. Let me see what he gonna do because I'm gonna get it too.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of how I look at things. But the differences are they're different, and I don't think it's like one bad, one good. Somebody have may discover their niche on one side or the other. Go with it. Somebody may discover they got something that you don't
Uh-oh. We lost you, D.
He might have got a call. Give him a second.
Oh, there you are. We hear you now, Donico.
I'm still here. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I look at that. I look at all these different things. Application of instruction. Move at the speed of instruction. To some people, that might be overwhelming. Move at the speed of instruction. Okay. How about the application of what you've been given? Apply that to each scenario or situation or you know what I mean, or person you're dealing with. And I do that. Sometimes simplicity is the most effective thing ever. I look at each house, they're different compared to each other, but collectively we are set apart from the city. That happened over time. I'm excited. I'm really excited to be headed towards 3 years.
Man, time flies, huh?
It
Time
flies.
flies. Yo, it
And I
does.
just all I did was apply what was given to me. Okay, go navigate, go whatever. Get that. I had to go carve a path. Okay, that's not too bad if I do what they tell me to do. Pioneer that place. Okay, what does a pioneer do? I think I can do that. It should be always apples and oranges. When it gets to advanced trigonometry, somebody messed up. It should always be apples and oranges. You should always be able to effectively communicate what your side is, and that's what I do effectively. What I got so excited today, being sick and everything. I got a call from the lady that does my rapid rehousing. She said, "Hey, two of those guys you had on the list, there wasn't in the shelter, which disqualifies them for this money." She had it all set up. She said, "But I got a guy that is so perfect for what you guys do. I don't
Wow.
second guess her because I trained her to
Exactly.
know what I
I
expect."
love
And
it.
Wait
when
a minute.
so
I
Wait.
yeah,
love that. I love that.
Wait.
yeah, the
Somebody
excitement
gonna
and
miss that. So slow that
Right.
yeah,
down
That's
and
why I
bring it
said
back.
wait.
Because how does she know what's perfect for your program?
yeah.
Somebody should be asking that. And this is the gym. Break that down, bro.
Yeah, so you meet this entity, you find out from the grapevine, oh, they'll pay first month security in up to 3 months. That's great. You don't know the lady from Adam. She needs to know you, she needs to know your heart. You can be a snake in the grass, or you can be someone whose heart bleeds for those that are in need. She don't know. So she needs to know. Okay. Secondly, you need to teach her what you guys prefer, will deal with, and absolutely will not take. So I like to lean heavy on the prefer side. Hey, I prefer the older gentleman in his 60s, SSI, no drama, don't have a girlfriend, just want to live. He tired of everything. I love him. And he clean, he take care of his hygiene, and he clean up after himself. I like that. That's my preference. I will deal with some people that I gotta coach up and show a little this or a little that, but I'm not gonna lean all over into the wraparound services and all that extra stuff,
Right.
which is this
Because yeah.
gentleman. Yeah, this gentleman, I was lied to. Oh, he's responsible. Okay, he went out and got a lady other night and started buying her clothes and shoes and stuff. It didn't pay me a dime. Okay, bro, we got a conversation. Lord Jesus,
That ain't gonna work.
He got the
nah,
lady
man,
of the night.
that ain't gonna work. I don't mind if he does that after he takes care of his business.
The
Hey, you got paid.
obligation, exactly. Pay
Yeah.
for the roof
So
over your head, bro. I tell all my guys that no matter what you trying to do this month, pay for your roof over your head, man, so that you always got a place to live. Go
so
ahead,
the
D.
one of the biggest gems you guys shared with me. Oh, it's too easy to have that conversation. Be like, hey man, I love you here. You great, but fresh start housing doesn't go for A, B, C, and D, and it
That's
seems
it.
that you'll be better suited somewhere else, according
Yeah.
to fresh start housing. That works every time.
Not
It's
Dornico,
nope,
right?
not doing no, because you want to be the advocate. You want
Yeah.
to be the person with empathy and like, oh man, that all the way leading him out the door. Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Lord, but yeah, it happens. It happens sometimes, and you just gotta do it with grace. Just like you get a perfect resident, what are you gonna do if you don't have a perfect resident? You got to do your
Yeah.
job. It ain't no second guessing. What would you do? It's hard. Maybe the first two or three times, but something happens if you keep at it. You're not. I don't have no bad heart when I do this. It's just business. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good stuff, Shay. I think I see Miss
You see, I had to
Francesca.
change the view
What's
so we
going
can
on,
see
Miss Frankie?
everybody that's on the stage.
Oh my Lord, is that
What's
Frankie?
up? What's up? What's up? Let me
What's
start.
Hey
up,
sis.
Frankie?
I was watching
So
that
this
Cat Williams had me thinking about Martin Lawrence. So
Hey,
is
Hey, listen, Frankie. I didn't want to say it, but I had to go Cat Williams on this guy. I just tried to.
What are
I
you
tried
doing
to
now?
clean it up.
Hush now.
Yeah.
we ain't talking. We ain't talking.
So let's do
Nah.
this real quick because
It looks like Nyanka popped off. So we'll be
having Francesca is a real treat. Francesca is somebody that I told you earlier, right? She does both sides of what the topic is today. So most of us in this room, we don't have the patience to wait 3 years to open up a group home or an APD home or a licensed group home. We're talking about tonight, Francesca. We operate ILFs, but these are not group homes. So I wanted them to hear from somebody that actually has them both. I kind of told your story, but let's pretend that nobody's ever heard of you or me, but tell them how you do both of these and what was the difference in the ease of either. And
yeah,
I'll
just
let you
give
take
your
it.
story. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you guys for having me. My name is
Yes.
Thank you for being
Francesca
here.
Dawson. Me and my husband own and operate New Hope Housing, where we got on board and hired Forston Consultants in 2019, and we started the ILF model, which is the model that they are professional consultants with, as well as professional housing providers. So I would say as that's how we started out. And then I went into kind of doing more with the housing. Um, and I started branching out to housing traveling nurses, as well as getting a licensed home through agency with persons of disabilities, which, when it comes to the differences, basically time and effort and documentation. When it came to the ILF, we hired Forston Consultants, and probably within like 2 months, we were up and running. We had our first client, we had our first home. So that was really, really quick. Like, it happened a lot quicker than I expected. I remember me and my husband were just like, wow, we're housing people. And it was just like that. However, when it comes to licensed homes, there's so much stipulation behind it. And that took about close to 3 years, I want to say, to finally get the home that we have now. And there are many differences between the independent living model and the licensed home. I mean, for one, it's just I mean, time and effort. Like with independent living, we're just providing a safe space for people to stay, and they pay affordable rent, all inclusive. It includes all their utilities and things of that nature. However, with the licensed home, it's residential habilitation. So we're habilitating these individuals into being more independent. So everyone, all my consumers have like a support plan that I have to go through, implement their goals, whether it's they want to do more like skills with learning how to cook, or skills with like laundry and personal hygiene. Like we are implementing that for them. So it's a lot more like hands-on, because they're not there just to house them. Like we're supposed to be habilitating them.
Right.
And just like today, like before I logged, why I was late was because I had to conduct a monthly fire drill. So I had to make sure I did that, documented that. There's so much documentation that comes. I have APD comes to my house every month, checks out the home, looks at the clients, looks at all my documentation. So there's a lot that goes behind the licensed home, as opposed to like, right, with I don't worry about houses. My houses in Orlando that we're doing independent living, like people are living there, they're paying their rent, they're happy, they're safe. You know, sometimes I don't hear from them, so I have to call them and just see, hey, how's everything going? You know, so it's very different.
Yeah.
But
So Frankie, do you cook for your residents in the licensed group home? Is that a part of your?
yes, you have to provide three. Well, I do now, but once, you know, eventually you will hire staff, and,
Correct.
you know, that handles all of that. So then that's another thing too. You have to worry about staffing. We all know how things are right now when
Yeah.
it comes to, do people really want to work nowadays?
Right.
You know, trying to find people to have staff when you don't have to worry about staffing in independent living homes. But yes, we provide 3 meals a day.
So who requires that? Like, who says you gotta feed them 3 times a day? Like, where does that come from?
It's just part of the license.
Rules.
I mean,
Wow.
you gotta feed, and then I have to provide. And it's not like I'm just creating meals. Like I have to go and get a dietitian, and they have to create a meal plan, and I have to follow, you know, the menu that they have. So I have a rotating menu that I have to go by, you know. So
do you cook for your ILF guys? Yeah, right.
No.
Do you
I'm sure they would like it though, but you know.
Do you administer or give medications to your ILF guys?
No. However,
how about
I do do that for yes.
Okay.
And you have to take a 6-hour course to start, you know, in the beginning to get unless you're a nurse. If you're a nurse, then you don't need that. But I had to take a 6-hour course to be validated to be able to administer medications to my consumers.
Give the people an example of what was the difference in time frame from starting both the ILF and the licensed APD group home.
Like a couple of months versus a couple years. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But
it's resilient.
now that you got them both
Everybody has
up
a
and
passion.
running.
If you have a passion and you're resilient, you can get through it.
Okay.
I love that. That is something that I actually posted today, right? And actually recorded earlier today about, you know, when God gives you something or passion in your heart to do, 9 times out of 10, you don't even know that it is that you can possibly do it on your own, right? And you've got to continue to contend for that thing. And that's by surrounding yourself with the right people, by, you know, having the right coaches and mentors, and just making sure that all the key players are in place to help keep you focused to the goal. So I love that. A lot of people need to hear that if you want something, you've got to fight for it, and you've got to push through all the obstacles to obtain it. So I love what you just said, Frankie. Thank you.
I want to add something too, or actually have Francesca add something. Francesca does another form of housing. Put a number 7 in the chat if you've ever wondered how the travel nursing goes. Like if you want to house travel nurses, traveling doctors, traveling school teachers, traveling professionals, traveling anesthesiologists. Because I don't want to waste y'all time, but Francesca also houses travel nurses. So if 2 people say yes or put the number 7, Francesca, I want you to go into what was the decision to do that, and how does that work? You don't have to go crazily deep because I know you have your own masterclass and all of that, but how does that work with the traveling nurses, and why did you decide that? Because that's 3 different populations you now serve.
Yeah.
Well, it all falls in line with I had a property and I needed something to do with the property for the property to make income, because essentially we had purchased the property for our licensed home, and imagine it took close to 3 years to get it licensed. So knowing what we know and how we can utilize a property and make income off of the property, I had to figure out what I was going to do because of the location of the property that I purchased. So it wasn't really suitable for independent living, but I thought, well, this can be a perfect for housing traveling medical professionals in the meantime while I was undergoing my licensing. So that's kind of how we kind of pivoted, and it just went really well. And
hold it. Got a question. Was this house the original? What was this the original intent for the house?
No, originally.
Wait. This is genius because I want you to set it up right.
Yeah.
This is a teaching moment, y'all. She used
Right.
the word, but I don't want this to go past nobody's head.
Right.
She had to pivot. So that means think of a new idea.
Yeah.
I taught about 6 classes ago. Sometimes when we all have this idea, sometimes you got to pivot because this thing isn't working. Some of us just sit in it and we drown. So I love it the way that Francesca thought of something else, and that's why I stopped her. So Francesca, tell the people what went into that. How did you decide that? Where did it come from? Did you go to a conference? How did that just kind of unveil that you should be housing travel professionals?
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a need for housing everywhere, you know? So you just have to know like the property that you have and what kind of population you can serve in that property. So because we were spoiled with the independent living and we knew that you can make money housing, like I did not want to purchase a property and come out of pocket to pay the mortgage every month while I'm getting licensing.
Yeah.
So it's like we had to figure out, okay, who are we going to house in this property that, you know, they're going to take care of our property while we undergo the licensing process. And I just, the location that I was in, I just said, you know what, I'm housing traveling medical professionals. And I just kind of put it out there. And
was it close to a hospital?
Well. Yes, it was. We are close to a hospital, so a few hospitals.
Name one that you're close to.
Well, I'm 2 miles from Lake Nona Medical City. So there is Nemours Children's Hospital. There's the VA hospital that's around there.
Wow.
We're also close to Osceola Regional Hospital, St. Cloud Hospital. So we were within the vicinity of several hospitals.
Okay.
And the location of the home was in a beautiful location. And it's in a safe location, which is what travel nurses are looking for. They don't want to be in a sketchy place. And, you know, I've told a story where I had a travel nurse that called me from a hotel that she was staying in. That was literally like, the hotel was walking distance from the hospital that she was contracted with. But she just didn't like the people that she just felt real sketchy. So she was willing to come and rent a room from me. And I was about 30 minutes from the hospital. Like she gave up that just for the security of being safe.
Wow.
Or feeling safe. Yeah.
Wow. So what I also want to add, ladies and gentlemen, because again, I don't want things to go over y'all head, right? Francesca's coaching also told her that this bougie house that she went and got, that's not good for ILF. She just told you guys she was 2 minutes from Medical City. If you guys know anything about Lake Nona, you should look it up if you don't. It's like they're so far ahead in research and development and bioscience and medical and blah, 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 blah. She literally just gave y'all a part of her coaching without saying it. I would have never allowed Francesca to try to do an ILF there. The neighborhood's too bougie. It's too nice. Francesca, back on you. I just wanted to point that out. Like that wouldn't have worked there.
No, and also, I also had to also think about because traveling medical professionals, they're short-term housing, and that's exactly what I needed, because at any time the state could have licensed me. So
Right.
when we're talking about independent living, like, I don't want to put anybody in a position where they were homeless, they have a home, and now I'm putting them back out on the street because, so you also want to think about that. Like the short-term housing with the travel nursing was just a perfect fit for what I was setting up. So
I love it. I
but
love it.
it went very, very well. And it is even now, it's my favorite population to serve.
Wow. So guys, you heard it from firsthand. And that's why I love it when Francesca comes, because I can say this stuff all night, but it's baloney because I'm Derek. When you guys hear it from somebody else who's actually doing it and have done both of them, but also listen to what she just said. Out of all the genres that she housed, independent living people, the single adult male or female, she houses people that need a license to be housed, right? But she also houses travel nurses, and she said that's her favorite, right? Frank, is that right? The traveling professional is your favorite?
Yeah,
Tell
that's
us why. Why?
I mean, it's just
Don't say it's a no-brainer. Tell me
it's
why.
No-brainer.
I,
It's a no-brainer.
I don't have, because with them it's like you don't have to, okay, because it's still like the independent living in the sense that it's very hands off, and even more so, like, let's be honest, some of the people with the independent living, like, they'll call me because they need a light bulb screwed. I don't have to worry about that with travel nurses. Like, they take care of everything. They just pay me my rent. And
you never talk
place
to them that much, right? From day of move in. Is that right?
No. I just come, and I mean, I'll come when they're ready to leave. And I look at I do a home inspection. Everything is exactly how I left it, if it's not better condition. And I mean, like, they just really, really take, and it's so hands off, so and then they're appreciative and they're respectful, and so I
tell me this, Frankie.
I really love that population. I truly do.
Tell me this, because somebody's thinking it, and I just want to make sure that I'm giving them the game, right? And this is your masterclass right now. How many days or how long does that nurse stay with you? Is it 1 day? Is it 2 weeks? How long is the stay according to the contract?
So the contracts were usually started like at 13 weeks. But a lot of them had the opportunity to extend. And I was blessed enough, like, I started off with several of them that was like a 13-week contract, and they all stayed like 9 months to a year, because they actually really enjoyed the placement where they were staying, and they enjoyed like their contract or the hospital that they were working in. So I actually had some pretty long-term tenants.
That's good. I like, you can't beat that at all. Where you can pivot in the housing model, and this goes back to what you always say, Derek. If you want to start obtaining a foot into real estate, this is it. Francesca just told you she does the ILF model out of rentals, correct? And then her
Right.
the travel professionals and the APD out of her own tangible asset.
Yes.
But I want to point this out too, right? Francesca, how did you accumulate the money to buy the one to do the license group home? Did it come from the ILF?
So yeah, I mean, the ILF, yeah, it's just, that took care of a lot of what was going on. You know what I mean? Like, it's the hustle. You gotta hustle,
hustle. Francesca said you gotta hustle, Derek.
You gotta hustle. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
I highly suggest everybody have multiple streams of income, and it took a while. My husband used to talk to me about that, and I was just one of those persons that, no, I just want to clock in, clock out. But now, like, I'm seeing the benefits of.
You couldn't imagine going back to a job now, having to sneak on
no,
your cell
like,
phone.
I have PTSD and nightmares thinking about having to actually go back in and clocking in for someone else. Like,
hey,
I would
Frankie,
never be on time.
Frank, imagine you and I going back to Park Place.
Huh? No.
Imagine you and I going back to Park Place.
No. I've
So you
I've
on your own,
They
baby.
wouldn't take either one of us back, probably, Frankie, because we be too
no,
bougie now.
no.
Way too much.
Hey, so really quick, guys, before we close, I do want to get Neonta up.
Yes.
Neonta's actually from the down south area, so I want to get her take as well because she houses military veterans. So just here in about a few seconds, we're going to bring Neonta up. You guys stay tuned. Hey, what's going on, family? I super hope you guys are enjoying this information. But let's just say you want more one-on-one coaching, just like what you're receiving now. You're actually looking for our ILF Mastery Blueprint. So that's our hand-holding one-on-one coaching, where that's what most of the people that come to us, that's what they want. They don't want to just watch me on YouTube all the time, right? They want me in their back pocket for one-on-one coaching. And what's super powerful about it right now, that there's a scholarship that's actually available that brings that down to only $7,500, a long ways from the normal price of the 15 grand. So even doing this live right now, if you guys text IMB below, my team can send you over some information. But nevertheless, definitely go over and see forsterconsultants.com and check us out there as well. Let's get back to the show. All right,
He's
Miss
fancy,
Miss
Frankie.
Neonta, welcome to the stage, all the way down there from Miami Gardens. Tell the people who you are, how great you are, and what's your take on why did you choose to go ILF versus the traditional group home route?
Good evening, family. My name is Neonta St. Ford. My husband and I, Romel, own and operate Saints Care here in Miami Gardens, where we house predominantly military veterans. First of all, let me say, super excited to be here tonight and to have a voice or a better voice to be able to
Yeah.
talk tonight. So I'm excited about that my voice isn't completely gone. I've been enjoying the conversation, just listening in. Both Dornico and Miss Frankie have dropped some nuggets tonight that have blessed me and kind of got my mind going and running. So I by trade I'm an RN, travel RN, so I know all about that, looking for housing and
Yeah.
wanting to have a good place to stay while you're on a contract. So kudos to you, Frankie. Thank you for looking out for the RNs out here in this good old United States of America. But anywho, yeah, man, I think that for me, initially my goal was a assisted living facility, and that still is a goal. So when you guys were talking about the nurse that did the recovery housing, I was actually driving and I'm thinking, okay, Lord, I hear you. I got started getting a little bit excited about it because I'm thinking, the reverse of that. I know Shay was talking about how the person can refer back to the
Absolutely.
ILF model. Well, from the ALF standpoint, I'm thinking, okay, well, I can refer from my ILFs to the ALF because I deal with a lot of older people. So yeah, my mind was just going. But yeah, I'm super excited. Looking forward definitely to what's to come. And we're definitely in that pivoting stage as well because things have changed with us as far as the clientele coming in from the agency that we were getting them. I won't go into all of that, but we're definitely in that process of pivoting and making some more connections and just developing those redeveloping relationships and nurturing some that we started out and did never really nurture completely. So rekindling some flames, let me say it that way, rekindling some flames in the ILF world and just in the different in our county, Dade County and Broward County. So yeah, I'm excited about tonight. Definitely happy to be on and enjoying all the gems that you guys are dropping. That you always drop. That's why I'm always here whenever I can be here because I'm bound to learn something. So I feel like I forgot her name in the Bible. It just escaped my mind. Ruth? It's Ruth that gleaned. I can't think of
Yes.
her name right now. It was Ruth. Okay.
Yep.
Ruth, I feel like Ruth right now. I'm just sitting and I'm gleaning from my
Gleaning.
coaches.
I love that word, gleaning. I love that.
Yeah, I'm gleaning from my coaches and those who've been imparted into by my coaches. So looking forward to the rest of the conversation. I only really got a few more minutes, but anything I can impart or be a help to, definitely let me know. I will say this. One thing that I forgot who was talking about it, but I do have a guy with us in that transitioning phase. Actually, probably not probably he really needs to go to an ALF, but because of his income right now, and he doesn't. I'm working trying to find one for him. The agency is working trying to find one for him. But just dealing with that process, trying to make sure that he doesn't, fall through the cracks, that I still, treat him with love and respect, and talking to the
Yeah.
guys about it as well, because some of the other guys are like, we're not here to take care of him. And I'm like, no, you're not. And I don't expect you to. So I just try to make sure I'm there if he needs anything. And we try to, look out as best we can until we can transition him out, which is
I
a
want
whole nother conversation.
I want to drop a gem, Derek, if you don't mind.
Sure. Gem dropping, please.
I'm gonna drop a gem. Ooh, Nianta. So what you need to do also is, because of the number of beds in your home, right? The fact that this individual needs more care, you can ask them if they cannot provide him with the ability to find a place to stay, if they can add the wraparound services. It will probably be less expensive. And because of the state of Florida's rules and regulations, we'll go more into that in a one-on-one. You're actually allowed to have that happen in your home. So if that is a resident that you want to keep on housing, but have them implement or look to add the wraparound services, it is appropriate to do so.
Okay,
That's
good stuff.
actually, that's one of the things that we're actually looking into, trying to get him set up with. Forget what it's called. It's a veteran service. It's just slipped my mind. There's a veteran service that allows a caregiver to come into the home. So we're actually in the process of trying to get that set up for him as well. It's just getting him comfortable with having
Mhm.
someone come in to do that for him, because he feels like the other guy's gonna be looking at him crazy, and saying stuff. And I'm like, don't worry about that. Let's get that, let's get it set
Let's
up. So
get you, yeah. Let's
yeah,
get you
so
set up.
definitely, most definitely.
Good
So,
stuff. Well, Nianta, thank you so much. I appreciate you always chiming in. Thank you so much to Francesca as well. Looks like we got about 10 more minutes. So I'd
10
allowed
more
a couple more
minutes.
questions. If you guys have any questions for Francesca while she's here, or Nianta. Nianta houses military veterans down south, Miami Gardens. Francesca houses 3 different populations, right? ILF travel professionals, and as well as the licensed APD group home, which stands for Agency for Persons with Disabilities, which is the opposite of an ILF. Because remember, the ILF, they are completely independent. The APD model, they're not independent, and that's why they need help. That's why they need staff. That's why you have to have a license. So Shay, we'll give a couple minutes for some questions, and then if not, we're going to start giving some salutations and get these nice folks out of here. Because again, I always promise 2 things. I'm going to give the game away in terms of what this is and how to do it. We don't hold back nothing, but we're also going to give you opportunities to get into it. So just in case if you didn't know, the easiest way to get to us in terms of a strategy call is, the first step is to watch the ILF and HRA webinar and then schedule a free strategy call.
yes.
Right? And then let's see after that call, how do we fit together? Are we a good fit for you? Are you a good fit for us? And that's usually discovered on that discovery call. So again, if you want to do the ILF Mastery Blueprint, which is our one-on-one hand-holding coaching, definitely let us know. Because again, instead of paying that 15 grand, there's a scholarship available that allow you to get it for only 7,500. So either text us below IMB, and we'll also give you a phone number that you can text to, even if it's after this. So if you're still here, you can text that below now. But if not, 407-326-0086, and it's flying across the bottom of that screen. You guys can literally text that number to anything that you need, right? VA, a website. But tonight, text IMB if you definitely want a part of that scholarship, or type the word scholarship to kind of get into that coaching so that you don't make any mistakes. It looks like we got a question
So
from Mr.
Frankie,
George.
it's actually for you. I don't know how you can answer this question, or I don't know, but go for it if you can, or you feel comfortable in doing so.
Sorry, I don't see the question. What's the
The
question?
question
It
is,
says, how much do you charge for each APD, right? I think it's APD.
Yep.
Group
It's supposed to
home.
be APD.
Yeah, APD. Group
Okay.
home bed.
Okay, so it's broken down in 2 forms of payment. There's the residential habilitation rate, which is billed to the insurance each month, and that varies based on the level of care that the client needs. Then they have the room and board that comes from the client. Sorry guys, I'm printing out like documents right now.
No worries.
I don't know if you hear all of that craziness, but
I hear that printer.
you hear it? Okay, I'm working. See, I'm
You good.
still working. So that comes, the room and board comes from the client, based because they all receive Social Security. So there is no regulation. Back in the day, they used to regulate like 583 room and board, but now, like starting last year, they're like providers can set their own room and board rates. So I would just, I mean, I don't want to say anything because my numbers are not your numbers. My mortgage
Right.
payment is not your mortgage payment.
Right.
So I mean, if you're getting, I don't know who's asking the question, but you can always DM me if like you're getting licensed and you need help with figuring out what to charge room and board. But I'll say in general, around Orlando area, they're charging $650 set to $750 room and board.
Yeah,
But
and that's room and board. Yeah.
yeah, and that's room and board. But remember, we also bill the insurance monthly, the residential rate, and that goes anywhere between like 3,000 to 8,000 a month, depending on what they're.
That's the big number. So in other words, the one
Right.
that you bill to the, you know, that's the bigger number. Because notice when she said the room and board, that was a smaller number. That sounds like my numbers at the ILF.
Yeah.
But the one that she
Exactly.
bills for, I can never charge a number like that.
Right. And
So
then
hopefully that makes
you
sense.
also
to
have
George.
to realize what comes along with that.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Right. To whom much
Oversight.
is given, to whom much is given,
I
much
was,
is
lot.
I was
required.
just, you know, you read my mind, Shay, because when I was going to like the differences, like the documentation, every year, you know, the state will come and audit, and they can ask for that money back. If you
Say
don't
that
have your
again, Frankie.
documentation in a line, like in your dot, your what is it?
Your
Your
I's
dot, your
dotted.
I's dotted, your T's crossed.
Yeah.
They can request that money back.
Yeah, and they
So
have. They've seen. I've actually we know a gentleman that actually was a part of our, you know, Derek and I's marriage mentors. And he was an overseer of these homes, and that was his biggest thing. He's like, a lot of people get shut down in the first year because they do not take seriously the paperwork and
yeah.
being in alignment with what is necessary, and they end up going broke because they end up having to pay back
You
what
have
they
to be
received.
meticulous. You have to be meticulous and take it seriously, because you know this is government money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is coming from the state. They can ask whatever they want, you know, and
Yeah.
they want accurate documentation of what they're paying for. So if you're not a clerical person or an administrative person, and you know, you can hire one, but just know that that is a significant difference between the licensed home and the unlicensed, because I don't have to worry about none of this with the ILF. Like the worries that I, not even worries, but the things that I have to make sure is in line with the licensed home, I don't, it's not even a thought in my independent living home. So
And George says, "Thank you."
Good stuff.
you're
Good stuff.
welcome.
That's good. I think that's something that we should definitely have a room on. I know we talked about some rooms that we're going to have that will be facilitating with Francesca, and probably do have Nianta and have Cindy and Dornico join us, and we're going to talk about doing this ILF as a partnership in marriage. I think that's going to be a great conversation, because a lot of people want to know how we do it. How do we balance the difference, and how do we how are we able to separate business and pleasure, right? And then still create and still have very good business relationships, and as well as a good product, right? How does your personal not spill into your business, and vice versa? So that's going to be a conversation that we have sometime this year, and that'll probably be an ongoing conversation, because I think that's one that'll really spark a lot of interest with people that are in business. A lot of times, husbands and wives, you got one or the other partner working in corporate America or a day-to-day job, because the other one has the entrepreneurial spirit. But how do you bridge that gap and become one in alignment to pursue purpose in the realm of entrepreneurship? So that's going to be a conversation that we have this year, to discuss what we do, how we do it effectively, and what makes it how do we make it work? I mean, best way to say it, right, Frankie? How do we make it work? Because it's truly a balancing act, and it's one that I know for me, I wouldn't want it no other way. And I think Francesca and myself are the only two that are true entrepreneurs along with our spouses. And and that is our bread and butter. Our entrepreneurial journeys, our ventures are our bread and butter. Where I think Dornico and Nianta, y'all all still have the 9 to 5s, at least a partner or someone has the 9 to 5 or whatever the hours are. And want to talk about that. Like, what does that look like? How do you make decisions? How do you
And
plan?
when do you leave? Like, how do you know when it's time
Right.
to go? I think Frankie and I had a conversation like that a few months ago on a live. Like, when do you know it's time to go? Like, how did Francesca know it was her time to go? And then a few years later, like a year or two later, how did she know it was time to retire her husband?
Right.
So Frankie's got a whole story about that. So if you missed it, guys, make sure, first of all, that you've subscribed to the YouTube channel, because as you can see, tonight's room was really exciting in terms of being able to show you guys both sides of the coin. And again, that's why it's nobody better to learn this from than us, because we've been on both sides of it, right? I used to be the social worker, but now I'm the guy that's housing folks now. And then when you got people like Francesca that can kind of lay before you all of the different housing models, that just simply means that we're giving you guys options now,
Yeah.
right? Because we don't talk a lot about travel nursing here or the housing the travel professional, but that's what Francesca does. So if you guys are really nice to Francesca, maybe one day she'll give y'all a free kind of a master class on it. So, but nevertheless, I do want to make sure that we're keeping everything on time. Francesca, if you can bless the people real quick before you go, just remind them again who you are, how great you are, what all you guys are involved in, the Turo business, and how they can find you maybe on social media. Because you're always under us, right? That whole wedgie thing. But tell them how they can find you, Frankie.
She's our professional wedgie.
So I once again, Francesca with New Hope Housing. You can find me on Facebook under my name. I also have my New Hope Housing business page on Facebook. I haven't been all over on social media. I need to get better at that, but I can kind of stick with one. But yeah, so I have, what were you, sorry, that was just, it's been a long day. What exactly?
Just remind them about the Turo business. If they need a rent a car, if they're traveling,
Exactly.
all of that stuff you do, all of that stuff.
Put all the links in the
So
chat.
yes, I am a travel agent as well. My business is Snapshot Escapes,
And they the bomb. Just want to throw that out there. They the truth. I got a whole cup, a bag to take on my trip, and a folder. I ain't do my review yet, but here go my review right now. I just took my whole family on a cruise this for Christmas, and Frankie facilitated it. So there's that.
I just saw a picture, but I was waiting.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So I hope y'all were able to hear that, right? Nianta went through Snapshot Escapes for was that a Christmas family vacation?
Yes, ma'am. Christmas cruise.
And you said you got what?
So I got in the mail, and my mama and my sister-in-law, and they in South Carolina, got in the mail a box from an unknown source. I was like, I didn't order anything from Amazon. In my mind, it was, because I knew I didn't order anything, so I was confused.
Unknown source.
And I opened the box, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? And I see a mug that says Snap. I said, oh, wait a minute. Frankie done sent me a whole cup. Then I see a folder and a bag to take on a trip with us. I was just elated. I was like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. Then my mom called me the next day. She's like, that lady sent us some stuff. My mom a real country, y'all. That lady sent us some stuff. Yeah, my box came today. It wasn't but one cup in there, but that's all right. Me and your daddy gonna share it. And my sister-in-law got hers as well. So we were super excited. The trip was amazing. Wow. Frankie was amazing. The whole process. I called her like a couple days, I think, before, asking her stuff about the cruise that I probably shouldn't have been bothering her with, but she answered my questions.
It's like I'm your personal concierge, you know.
Yep.
And she was.
Joanne, call Miss Francesca. She'll take care of you.
Snapshot Escape.
Snapshot Escape.
Joanne needs a vacation.
Put it in the chat, please, in the YouTube chat. For those that are watching now, those that will be watching later, come and check out Snapshot Escape.
And her virtual assistant also helps her run that business too.
Yeah, like everybody's probably saying, how does Frankie do it? Francesca has an amazing virtual assistant that has been with her over a year. So from VA 101, don't forget that. Don't forget that.
Yes,
The
yes.
Jump
aka
back
the
in there,
VA
Frankie.
101.
It's on you.
Yes. So along with that, because of my virtual assistant, my kids have always wanted to go into YouTube and we travel. So I was able to start, a YouTube channel. It's more so for my kids, because they wanted to do it, but I didn't want to leave them alone. Like I rather have the whole family support. So we do have a YouTube, D Family Escapes. And my husband, I mean, me and my husband, but he's been kind of taking it full time because I've been with my in my housing. Sorry, guys. But he has a rental car, so he rents out vehicles through Toro, and that's with Dawson's Enterprise. That you can also find us on social media on Facebook, Dawson's Enterprise. If you ever need to rent a vehicle and you are in the Orlando area, we can deliver it to your hotel. We can deliver it to the airport. We have
And you
several
might get
vehicles
something in
on
the mailbox.
our.
Just never know, right?
So yeah, so we do housing, we do travel, we do rent car rentals, just little hustles here and there.
All right, good stuff. Francesca, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
I'm putting all your links in there.
Miss
Frankie
Neanta,
Craig.
bless the people really quick before you go, sis. Because sis, we joke and we play a lot, right? But there's a lot of people that sit in this audience, just like you and Frankie did one day. And then you guys have evolved to what you are now. So Neanta, whatever you could say to encourage somebody to maybe to get off the sideline and get in the game, it's on you, Neanta. Give it to them.
I just want to say, if you're considering independent living facility, Forster Consultants is definitely the team that you want to hook up with. Not only are they God-fearing people, but they love people. And so you can see that through their coaching. You can feel it through their coaching. I'll say my very first day meeting them was at the masterclass, their very first masterclass in June of 2022. I walked into that class, and in fact, I walked up to the table, and Mom Forston was there, and she was like, "Smile, baby, it's gonna
I
be all
heard you.
right." And I was like, "It's okay." I was like, "No, I'm not mad. I just look like this. I promise." But it was a great class. When you walked in, and I literally could feel the presence of God. And when Mom Forster opened up her mouth and began to pray, I was like, "Oh, I'm in the right place for real now. I know I'm in the right place." And just from that
Amen.
time to this, just being around them and being under their tutelage, I've gained so much insight and knowledge. Things that I still go back from when they did the 3 and 4 hour classes or clubhouse rooms. I took notes and things of that nature, and I still go back to those notes to this day and look at stuff and look for names and agencies that I can contact. Matter of fact, in this pivoting season, that's some of the things that I've been doing, going back, looking at some of my old notes and things of that nature. So if you are considering moving into this space, definitely consider Force Consultants. I know there's a lot of people out there saying a whole lot of stuff, offering a whole lot of stuff, but I can tell you that they are true to their word, and they will definitely do that whole hand holding process with you and walk you through it, and ensure that you are um, that you do be the best be the best version of yourself in this business world that you can be, and not just in ILF, but any other ideas that you might have.
Yep.
Because who knows, you call it's supposed to be a 15-20 minute call and end
That's
up
it.
literally being an hour 2 hour
That's it.
long conversation.
And leave with a whole
um
business plan.
right, have a
Yep.
whole business plan by the time you leave. So definitely don't wait to be great. And yeah, that's about it.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, sis. We appreciate that. Consistent and they're always around, and you guys make it work, which entails it makes us look like we're geniuses, but we're not. It's just that when you guys move at the speed of instruction to something that we think that we've mastered, right? We've mastered the art of shared housing, right? And don't forget, guys, money follows ministry. And this is truly a ministry that you guys are able to be involved in. Because again, all we did was combine social services and real estate together. Dornico, bless the people real quick, big bro, before you go. Any encouraging words or anything that you want to leave the people with? Any gems? It's on you, big bro.
Absolutely. I'm an accountability type. I know I mess up sometimes, but I'm the first to raise my hand and say my bad, and I try to make corrections. I look at things uh, in the proper, lens, most of the times. But you know, what are you doing now that's, you know, consuming your time and what is it doing for you financially and spiritually? I look at that. So, I mean, why not try something? The funny part is, this won't be the only thing you're not allowed to. Your coaches are doing multiple things. You can't just get stuck on this. So, you should be motivated to press forward, fail forward, whatever the case. My thing is, I look at my debit card quite often, and the expiration date is 2027. How much can I get done from now until then? It'll be 2030 before you know it, and people will be still in this room, still clicking and asking questions. What? Why? Don't take offense to this, but go out there and do something. If you're gonna fail, okay, let's fail. Let's do that. Nobody's judging you. Come back with that failure and let us get you together. Amen. Hallelujah. Let's go. So that's how I look at it. If it's HRA, you don't know that you're going to be good at it until you try it. If it's
Yep.
ILF mastery, how you going to know until you try it?
Yep.
That's how I look at it. I'm trying everything because that's me. I'm pushing because there's a whole lot God wants from us to do. We sitting here waiting and waiting and waiting. Okay, I don't want to wait. I don't encourage anyone else to wait. Go do something. And here's the thing, man. You don't know what this means for your family. You don't know how God is going to reward you full circle. You don't know. So I'll just end with this. Trust in the Lord your God and push forward and do something. Whatever that something is. And that's how I feel about it. I love you guys. I'm gonna watch my team win the national title tonight. So
That's
Please
tonight,
do.
tune
right?
in. And
And that's why I'm trying to get D out a little early, y'all. The big game on tonight. He
Sound like
old
somebody
Michigan
else.
fan.
Sound like
I,
somebody else trying to get out a little early
I,
too.
I'm sick. I got one good eye open, and
I
I'm gonna
have no
use it.
dog in the fight tonight, so no rush on me. But I'm trying to get my boy D out.
All right, you guys be well. Frankie, I gotta say this, Frankie. Your hospitality is, I mean,
Top
you got
notch.
great coaches. It's top notch. So the Toro game, if you're doing travel, anything like you did Toro, as far as my experience, I'm gonna go book a flight somewhere. Send me somewhere.
Donico's
I mean,
also
I
experienced
appreciate you,
that first class
Dornico. I
customer
truly
service.
do.
yeah, I was hungry. Y'all, I got off that plane. My stomach was going. "Rrr, rrr." Hey, I got in that car that I like, by the way. I got in that car.
What kind of car was it? You might
It
as well
was a
tell the details
nice,
now.
it was a nice Cadillac. I mean, cherry red, and it had food in it. I was like, oh my god,
Ooh, not
there was
leftover
food in it.
food. Now, don't get it twisted, y'all. Kind of explain that a little bit better now. Not
Okay,
just
Guys, Nianta, Darnico, you guys have supported us, and we are just ever so grateful. So we
yeah,
thank you.
literally
yeah.
like just.
Hey,
Oh, I'm sorry. D, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. I'm just about to be messy real quick. I got a Cat Williams type of mindset right now. Right, listen.
Keep it
Somebody,
clean now.
right, somebody gonna book Spirit Airlines. They ain't have no food. We starved the whole flight.
See,
Anyway,
man.
That's why
Lord
I
have
came
mercy.
through. I came through for you, Darnico.
anyways, I'm in trouble
Hey,
You
now.
ain't gonna be at my
when you mess
sister.
around and book Spirit, boy, you need to be in the book Francesca because you know the grocery gonna be in the car.
Man, all right, I'm gonna work on that, y'all. But anyways, I'm off. Love you
Hey,
guys. Be
well,
well.
Nico, we love you, big bro. Send our love. Oh, excuse me, got hiccups. Send my love to Cynthia and the family. Francesca, we love you and Jay so much. Neonta, we love you and your husband and your family so much, and your
We
mom and
appreciate y'all.
everybody that you guys are referring us. Thank y'all so much, man. Because just like Francesca said, man, we appreciate you guys and all the well words that you speak of us. I'm gonna let my wife bless us real quick. Shay, bless the people real quick, any way that you choose, and then I'll close us out.
First and foremost, Joanne said, Frankie, you are the GOAT for real.
I appreciate you, Joanne.
For real.
Man, this was an exciting room. It's always a pleasure to share this platform, to have in the studio not only our VA and our partner in crime here at Digital Flow Solutions, Forcing Consultants, and all things under the empire of Forcing Consultants, Alex, all the way from Nigeria. And to also have Nianta, Dornico, and Frankie. Listen, every time we get together, family, it's a party. I hope you all received an immense amount of information that just doesn't tickle your ears, but really pushes you to move forward and do something great for not only yourself but your community. right? Only what you do for others will truly last and leave a lasting mark on somebody's life and the outcome of their future. You never know who or what you're doing and who's watching. So again, I am Shanye Shea Forson, co-founder here at Forston Consultants, president and founder at the Angela Denise Foundation. And it has been an amazing opportunity to speak to you all. If you are interested in any of our coaching services, whether it be the ILF space, or if you are an entrepreneur with other ventures that are going on and you are looking for some strategies to help you grow, scale, and break out of the box, come and check us out at Forston Consultants, where you will meet with myself and Derek, and we will help you strategize,
Tomorrow,
implement, and
Tuesday.
talk about different things. Tomorrow, we will be right back here again. And it's all about digital flow solutions, VA 101, and building your business, taking it to the next level using either a virtual assistant or marketing strategies and platforms. How do you utilize those things to take your business to the next level? Come back here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We look forward to educating you and even bringing your business ideas. Bring some ideas, throw them in the chat. I'll answer questions. How do I get the privilege of doing that? Well, my background is management, business administration, and management. I have implemented and done some amazing strategy projects and programs over in my corporate America type of job role. And I may show y'all this little, I don't know if you can see behind me, there's a book that was created in regards to one of a huge project that I was able to lead in the healthcare setting. And I am all about creating opportunities and strategies to help you take that idea and make it a reality. I'm the one that helps you implement a plan and, boom, take it off running with a virtual assistant and digital flow solutions with all of the resources that you need to help you get out there and make it work for this 2024 and beyond in regards to your entrepreneurial journey. So that is me. I'm Shay Forston, and Mr. Forston, I'm handing it back over to you.
All right. Hey, what's going on, family? I super hope you guys are enjoying this information. But let's just say you want more one-on-one coaching, just like what you're receiving now. You're actually looking for our ILF Mastery Blueprint. So that's our hand-holding one-on-one coaching, where that's what most of the people that come to us, that's what they want. They don't want to just watch me on YouTube all the time, right? They want me in their back pocket for one-on-one coaching. And what's super powerful about it right now, that there's a scholarship that's actually available that brings that down to only $7,500, a long ways from the normal price of the 15 grand. So even doing this live right now, if you guys text IMB below, my team can send you over some information. But nevertheless, definitely go over and see forstonconsultants.com and check us out there as well. Let's get back to the show. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for being here. We super appreciate it. My name is Derek Forston. I approve this entire message. Again, if you are here and if you love God, love people, and love real estate, you're in the right place. So make sure that you join us every Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And also make sure that you join us every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Because again, in this room, we show you how to go out and rent or lease a property. You don't even have to buy it. And then you're going to build relationships with social workers and case managers so that you can, like, that can serve as your funnel system of how you're going to get the residents. And again, guys, it's not rocket science. You don't have to own the property. You don't have to pretend to be a nurse. And this does not require a license of any kind. So we call this a no-brainer by being able to rent a house, make connections with social service providers, and house the displaced who also receive a guaranteed income. Remember, these folks receive a guaranteed income from either SSI, SSDI, or from a job, say at McDonald's or Burger King. So again, if this is what you'd like to do, definitely follow us at forstonconsultants.com. Follow us at Forston Consultants on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Definitely subscribe on YouTube. Share the room tonight. I would appreciate if about 5 people can just share the room to your personal page tonight so that other people can see it. And by the way, if you happen to go to church, which you all should, right? Your pastor and your bishop need to know about this, because guess where all the needs go to anyway? The church. So how could you be a liaison between your church and this powerful movement of housing displaced adults who receive a guaranteed income? So you could be the very genius that brings this to your church and allows your church to expand the great work that they're doing in the community by also offering housing. So thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 6 p.m. where we'll be talking about digital flow solutions. So I encourage everybody as we leave, digitalflowsolutions.net, check it out. Alex built that website. And if you want a website that you need for your business, I don't care if you bake chocolate chip cookies or if you're a consultant, we can build your website. And what's so great about our packages that we'll deliver to y'all tomorrow, I forget the name of it, but the package for the $297 a month to run your business, we actually going to give you guys the complimentary virtual assistant with it now.
Whoa.
So Shay will be talking more about that tomorrow. So bring all your business ideas, all your plans, all your dreams of what you wish a virtual assistant could do. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. All hands up. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ever ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. You guys be great. Don't wait to be great. And we'll see you tomorrow.
And let's get down to business.